When we look back at the beginning of our stories, do we ever realize the subtle signs that hinted at what was to come? Sometimes fate has a funny way of showing us what we are looking for right when we least expect it. This is one such story. Welcome to our channel. Grab a snack and get ready for some heartwarming romance. The city was a tapestry of hushed whispers and distant laughter. In the grand scheme of things, the old apartment building was just another thread in its urban fabric. Nothing particularly remarkable except, of course, for the people who called it home. And one such resident was Elena. She lived in the heart of the building, in apartment 4B, which was known by all tenants simply as the Hazel Eyes apartment. Not because Elena had painted those walls hazel, although that would have been quite a feat, but because her eyes were the color of toasted almonds and autumn leaves. They were windows to a soul as warm and inviting as the light that streamed through them. There was a routine to Elena's life. Every morning she woke up with the sunrise, brewed a pot of coffee, and read a book while listening to Mozart. Afternoons were often spent in her garden, coaxing life out of soil and nurturing her flowers into bloom. Evenings were for solitude, reading, and preparing meals that tasted better than any restaurant fare because they were seasoned with the salt of her solitude and the pepper of her daydreams. She liked her quietude, the peace of it, the way it resonated with the melody of her soul. Then one day the balance of her solitude shifted. A new tenant moved in, someone who would change the composition of the silence. In the grand entrance hall, directly opposite Elena's apartment, lived a woman named Maya. Life had dealt her a different deck of cards. She was young, vibrant, a whirlwind of energy and ideas. Her footsteps echoed with purpose. Her laughter was music. Her presence filled the halls with a vibrancy that was hard to ignore. At first, their paths didn't cross. They were ships passing in the night, two souls in the same building, yet worlds apart. But life had a knack for orchestrating its moments. In the cramped elevator, which was more temperamental than the city bus, they first locked eyes. The silence of the confined space pressed them together, forcing a connection that neither had anticipated. The elevator ride, which should have been uncomfortable, became a shared experience, a prelude to the symphony that was about to play out in the grand hall of their lives. Their first encounter happened during one of those golden hours when the sun was setting and casting long shadows across the hall. As they stepped out of the elevator, they collided literally. Books went flying, papers scattered, and a vase teetered precariously on the edge of a table. Their eyes met and a smile flickered across Maya's face. "I think," she said, her eyes twinkling, "we have to start having meetings to coordinate our hallway traffic." Elena laughed, the sound rich and melodious. "It seems like an efficient plan," she agreed, picking up the fallen books. The chaos of that moment had somehow transformed into harmony, like a discordant chord resolving into a beautiful melody. They began exchanging greetings in the hall, polite nods, shy smiles, and stolen glances. These moments were brief, punctuated by the mundane tasks of everyday life, but they were potent. In the shared silence of the hallway, a bond began to form. It was a connection that transcended words, a silent understanding that grew with every interaction. Elena found herself looking forward to these chance encounters. Their conversations, though brief, filled the void in her evenings, reminding her of days when life's melodies used to resonate with more than just her. And Maya, who had always found solace in human connections, felt a kindred spirit in the quiet, enigmatic woman with hazel eyes. The hallway, once just a passage, became their sanctuary, a place where two solitary souls found solace and strength in each other's presence. As days turned into weeks, their connection deepened. They began sharing not just words but stories, hopes, and dreams. The hallway became their stage where acts of kindness played out, jokes landed, and hearts entwined. Elena found herself confiding in Maya about her late nights spent reading by the window, her mornings filled with tending to her plants, and her afternoons dreaming of faraway places. And Maya shared tales of her travels, her aspirations, and the adventures that lay ahead. One rainy afternoon, they found themselves sheltering under the same umbrella as they waited for the rain to subside. The physical proximity brought a new intensity to their connection. The umbrella, meant to shield them from the rain, also became a symbol of their burgeoning bond. It was a testament to the silent connection they had forged in the quiet confines of their hallway. With each passing day, their bond grew stronger, nurtured by shared laughter, comfortable silences, and a mutual respect that echoed in the hallways of their lives. But amidst this burgeoning connection, there was an elephant in the room, a secret that threatened to overshadow their growing feelings. You see, Elena had a secret, one she had carefully concealed behind her warm smile and gentle demeanor. She had lived in her apartment for years, her life intertwined with the fabric of the building itself. She knew the creaks of the floorboards, the sighs of the aging walls, and the whispers of the wind through the window panes. But what the building and its residents didn't know, and Elena had made sure of it, was that she was leaving. Her decision to move was like a discordant note in the melody of her life, jarring and out of place. She had resisted it for as long as she could, but the whispers of change had grown too loud to ignore. The thought of leaving her home, her haven, filled her with a deep sense of melancholy. Saying goodbye to the building, to the friends she had made, was like parting ways with a part of her soul. And when she shared this secret with Maya, it hung between them like a half-spoken word, unspoken, yet understood. Maya, ever attuned to Elena's emotions, had sensed the shift in her friend. The usual sparkle in her eyes had dimmed, replaced by a wistful sadness that tugged at Maya's heart. So when Elena finally confided in her, the revelation came as both a surprise and a confirmation of what Maya had already surmised. The knowledge of Elena's impending departure cast a shadow over their hallway rendezvous. The joy that once filled their interactions was now tempered with the bittersweet pang of knowing that their time together was limited. In the face of Elena's impending departure, their bond deepened. The hallway, once a place of casual chats and shared smiles, became a sanctuary of sorts, a place where two friends found solace in each other's company as they prepared to part ways. When the day of Elena's departure arrived, the hallway seemed unusually empty. The silence was deafening, amplifying the finality of the moment. As Elena stood with her bags by the door, a kaleidoscope of emotions played across her face. There were tears, of course, but also gratitude, fondness, and a hint of hope for the future. Maya stood beside her, offering a comforting presence, knowing that words couldn't encapsulate the depth of their connection. "This isn't goodbye," Elena said, her voice catching slightly. "It's just until next time." They embraced, the silence between them speaking volumes. It was a farewell that held the promise of new beginnings, of lives that would continue to unfold, perhaps in different directions, but forever linked by the shared melody of their hallway days. The apartment building stands tall, its beige walls still echoing with the faint hum of city life. The hallway, once filled with the laughter of children and the rumble of deliveries, now seemed quieter. The furniture was gone, leaving behind only echoes of laughter and whispered conversations. The scent of chamomile tea still lingered faintly in the air, a phantom limb of memories past. And the window, which had framed countless shared smiles and stolen glances, looked out onto a world that had changed, yet remained the same. Elena's absence was a palpable presence in the apartment. The silence of the empty rooms was louder than any music she had played. The garden she had so lovingly tended had begun to wild, as if mirroring the untamed emotions in her chest. And the books on her shelves, once companions for cozy evenings, now seemed like silent sentinels guarding secrets best left undisturbed. Meanwhile, Maya moved on with her life, taking with her the echoes of laughter and the warmth of shared moments. The hallway they had once shared became a memory lane. Every step she took was a reminder of the silent connection they had forged. The chipped paint on the banisters, the worn patches on the carpet, and the faded wallpaper with its floral patterns, all whispered tales of a friendship that had bloomed in the most unexpected of places. Years passed, seasons changed, and the city evolved, yet the memory of their hallway days remained as vivid as the first day they had met. Time had a way of softening the sharp edges of sorrow, turning it into a gentle ache that resonated deep within. The pain of separation had dulled, but the love they had shared still lingered in the corners of their hearts. For Elena and Maya, the hallway was more than just a passageway. It was a sanctuary where two souls had found solace, laughter, and most importantly, each other. The silence of that space had spoken volumes, articulating a connection that transcended words. It was a silent symphony of shared smiles, comfortable silences, and the quiet understanding that had blossomed between them. And even when life's melody led them in different directions, the music they had made in the hallway continued to echo, a testament to the enduring power of human connection.